Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared. We have a whole bunch of new Kizers, and some of them are bangers. Now, these will be released on the 10th. I'm not sure what's available right now. I will have everything linked down in the description, and depending on when you watch this, they might already be released. So definitely check the description. But some of these aren't going to be released until the 10th, at least to my knowledge. Now, starting off with this one, if you like it, wait till you see the next one. This is the Kizer Doberman, and it has this really cool blade shape. I don't even know what to call this blade shape. I really don't, man. Let me know down in the comments. I'm just gonna call it a modified blade shape. It has a sweeping edge with a spine that also tapers down. So it's gonna be really good for utility cuts and very, very pokey, very stabby. And I gotta say, I was holding this and I kept thinking like, man, this thing reminds me of something. This knife reminds me of something. And I figured out what it was. The Spyderco Kapara. The handle and ergonomics are very similar to the Kapara. It just has that feeling, which is really nice because I love the Kapara's ergonomics. This one has G10 scales with a steel liner lock that's inset. So it is screwed in on this side because it's not a full liner. No, it's just the liner lock. And then there's a titanium mill pocket clip, and I think this is a titanium back spacer. It's some sort of metal, it might be aluminum, but the clip is a titanium clip. I did put it in and out of the pocket, it seemed like it worked fine, but you know, we'll see how that works out as I try it in different materials and different clothing. The action. Man, for a minimal flipper tab, they did such a good job. Not only is it, you know, small and minimal, and hides itself when the knife is open, it has a perfect leverage point. So very, very snappy, launches out there with authority. And then you have these thumb studs, which you'd almost think this could be in the way. It absolutely is not. It works so good. Very natural feeling for the thumb and equally the reverse flick. You would think the same thing with the reverse flick. You'd think you'd hit that. Nope, it is so good. Fantastic dropping action on the close. I have not oiled it yet. This thing is brand new. Good access to the lock bar. Sharpen tool and plunge grind. You're going to get a couple sharpenings out of that. It could be a little bit more, but yeah, like I said, you know, coming on the 10th, I will probably make a video on the ones I really, really liked. But if you like that one, you'll probably really like this one because it's the premium version of the Doberman in titanium and S35VN. It feels very different. I gotta be honest, like the weight is obviously a huge difference. Titanium backspacer, titanium clip, again, steel liner that is screwed into the titanium. Very, very smooth, same action. This one, the detent's a little bit lighter than the liner lock, but not a big deal at all. That is something I could tune if it bothers me, but it's good, really good. And it has a cool sound because of the titanium. Hear that? Very cool. I love it. Needs some oil probably, but yeah, like I said, these are fresh out of the box. Again, man, super ergonomic. Everything's the same, just, you know, S35VN with titanium instead of the G10. I like it. I like them quite a bit. This is, I think this is going to be popular. I really do. It feels like it's going to be a fantastic user. And Kizer does a good job with their S35VN. Now, the next one is a more affordable knife. We have the Porcupine, the Kizer Porcupine in 9CR18 MOV, and it is just a flipper. I can reverse flick it though, very easily. The flipper tab is pretty unique. It's they cut out a little section right here, and they have like a nice jimped area. You kind of light switch it instead of push button. You can kind of do an in-between. Either way, it works good. Warncliffe blade shape, very pokey. It's going to be fantastic for utility cuts. And because it has that straight edge, you're going to get nice long cuts without slipping out of your cut. Good access to the lock bar, very smooth on the drop. I'm not a big fan of JG10 unless if it's like all blacked out, you know, like black blade, black hardware, black clip, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not a big fan of the color on this one, but you know, I know it comes in other colors. And again, kind of like the Doberman, it has a, well, no, actually a little bit different. This one has a full liner on the lock bar side, but on the show side, there's no liner. So it's only one side with the lock. Deep carry clip. You know, it's just a budget clip, no big deal, but it is also reversible. So yeah, this one's pretty cool. I'm sure this is gonna be pretty affordable. Good ergonomics. I like that you can get right on top of the flipper tab comfortably. It feels very natural. Yeah, this is gonna be a good little work knife for a lot of people. The next one is the Submarine. And I gotta say, the Submarine's hole deployment is really, really good. It lands in such a good spot. Great size. It's an oval shape. Now this one is, I guess, a drop point. I'm gonna call it a drop point. It is in 9CR18 MOV again, and the hold point, man, works good with the thumb flick too. It does have a flipper tab as well. Somewhat of a big flipper tab. The other one's kind of hid inside the handle. This one does poke out, so it does kind of push you back just a little bit. Not that that's a big deal, but it's not going to give you a spot to do like the trigger pull very well. Good access to the lock bar. Again, same thing. We have a liner lock only on the lock side, and the show side is just G10. Yeah, it does have a reversible deep carry clip, and it has this peel ply texture on the G10 that offers a lot of traction. This feels compact and robust. You know, it kind of has a little bit of a thicker blade geometry, so it's probably going to be a decent worker. Not going to be the best utility cut because it's mostly belly, because it has a lot of belly, but it still does drop down. So you're going to be able to still use the tip fairly well. Now, as far as this fuller goes, yes, you can flick it. The whole flick is so good though, it doesn't matter. But yes, you can reverse flick off of that partial fuller. Very smooth on the drop. 9CR is a great budget steel, and I believe Kizer's trying to get down into a little bit more affordable package, so that's what you're getting from those. Now, the last one, and I would call the star of the show, the Huntsman. The Kizer Huntsman. What a crazy, nasty looking knife, I gotta say. S35VN, ridiculously smooth. It has thumb stud deployment, and it has the fuller holes that has a shelf on it, so it does work really good. These are cut, it's cut in and the holes are cut out, so you have a nice shelf to reverse flick off of. This blade is just wicked cool though. It has so I'm gonna call it a trailing point dual ground recurve Tonto. What do you think? The ergonomics are super good though, man. You would not expect this handle just the way it looks. It feels like I'm holding a pistol. Like, it feels really, really good. I like how it goes from thinner to thick. This is so much room right here. I can really squeeze on it. I love that. Even back here, man, it's so ergonomic, and you can get up nice and tight to that edge. Man, this recurve is going to hold and trap materials really well. This is a big recurve. You're going to need a 1/2-inch stone to sharpen this. Most likely, you might be able to get by with a 1-inch, but it does have a very pronounced tip, so you can use that tip to open things up. This is basically going to pull and trap materials in there, so this tip is going to work really good at cutting things open. This tip, you're not going to really use unless if you turn it around and cut backwards, which you could, you know, for opening things up, but it will be pokey in that direction. Access to the lock bar. Oh yeah, let me just talk about this. This is a titanium frame lock, titanium mill pocket clip. What a pocket clip too, man. It looks good. Titanium back spacer. Then we have these carbon fiber inlays. They're very well done. Beautiful carbon fiber. Yeah, very, very good setting on that on both sides. And the action, really, really good. Super good reverse flick. That's probably the main form of deployment, but you also have the thumb studs that are also the stop pin, I think. Are they? Oh, maybe not. No, it has a stop pin right here. So you do have the thumb studs as well. that you can reverse flick off of, but that hole deployment just works so good. So, access to the lock bar, you know, they didn't give you a cut right there, but they did chamfer both edges. It's pretty easy. I have no problem with it. I'm not going to say nothing negative about it. It's so unique and so cool looking that, you know, little things, you know, in order to create the design, you know, you might have to, you know, swallow some things. And I'm not saying you're swallowing anything bad here. I'm not saying that. The lock bar feels nice and high though. So one cool thing is that this is always going to drop and hit you in a good spot. So you're not going to have to worry about holding down here and the edge coming down. You can get it right there in a nice safe spot, which is really, really nice. The one thing I'm going to have to swallow is the plunge grind. I wish it was backed up quite a bit, but it has that safety spot to land there, so I'm not too mad at it. But when you sharpen, this will eventually create a little smile right there. You'll be able to sharpen it probably. Nah, you're gonna get a smile pretty soon. So that'd be my biggest negative. But you know, like I said, you swallow little things for cool designs, and also, man, Lefty. The reverse flick works great, but the clip is not reversible. I can't get over these ergonomics, man. The Huntsman, man, what a wicked looking knife. I freaking love it. I like these wicked designs. You know, it doesn't look like everything out there. So, you know, hey, and I've thought about even, you know, even though like I have some knife designs coming that are, very useful designs, I would love to create a wicked useful design, if that makes sense. So, like I said, I'll be featuring the ones that I love the most, more, especially, you know, as they drop on the 10th. Yeah, what a cool knife. So, work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.